Hey there, Pat Monahan here of the band Train and the Patcast. And let's see, where am I? I'm in Washington State. Just got back from Hawaii. I had an amazing stay there with some friends and family. And if you've never been to Hawaii, I recommend you go to every single island. The people there are really lovely, and the place itself is kind of incredible. And I've had a couple of shows with my friends, Jerry Becker and Luis Maldonado, and even Hector Maldonado has joined us on a couple things. Really excited about that, and it's just fun. We get to have fun, and plus Jimmy and Scott are at home taking care of their families, and they've got amazing things happening in their lives as well. I'm not sure I'm allowed to mention them, but it's all good news, and I'm really psyched for all of them. So, back in May of this year, Train played a brand new festival called Bottle Rock in Napa Valley, California. And it was the first year of the festival. It was kind of amazing and outrageous that there were so many great bands and performers and comedians and just nonstop everything from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And we were all very excited to play the festival with such a great lineup. We were also happy to be playing a festival so close to where Train began our careers. So I think we even all took California 37 on our way to the festival. There were lots of great artists there, and we kept busy with the podcast while we were out there. I think you've already heard the Secret Sisters. We got that when we were at Bottle Rock, and if you've been listening to us for a while, there's going to be more from Bottle Rock that we snagged while we were there. This week, we got one of my all-time favorite comedians, a guy named Jim Breuer. I think the reason that I like Jim so well is because I met him for the first time at a VH1 show, I think at the Super Bowl, when the Steelers were playing the Seahawks. And as a massive Steelers fan, I was trying to get tickets, and that's all I could be consumed with. And when I met Jim, he was so kind and lovely, and he was far, far more famous and well-known than Train had been by far. And he just treated everybody just so the way you would hope somebody that you admire would treat you. So I was really excited that he took the offer to do the Patcast. It was the first night of the festival. We snuck our way past everybody at the press tent, and Jim had a bunch of interviews to do, but we managed to sit down for a little bit and talk. And actually, by the end of the interview, he wanted to keep going, and we had to let him go do the other interviews that he had to do with press, but he wasn't as interested in doing that as he was in the podcast. I don't blame him. I'm very entertaining. So Jim has been a successful working comic for many years now, and let me tell you, that is not easy to do. Got started when he landed a full-time cast position on Saturday Night Live back in 1995. His over-the-top impression of Goat Boy made him a huge hit, and also his role in Half-Baked with Chappelle. It was a beloved comedy for all of us fans of not just comedy, but being stoned at the time anyway. Breuer's been hosting a radio show on Sirius XM for years now, and he still does a lot of stand-up. In fact, you'll be able to check out his stand-up if you're coming on the Train cruise, Sail Across the Sun, this February. He'll be there with us. I can't wait for you to hear him talk about his dad. His dad reminds me of my own father, except his father is still here on the planet, and he's in his 80s. Jim took him on tour and made a documentary a couple of years ago, and we talked about that in the interview. It's a pretty incredible thing that he did by taking his elderly father on a tour bus like he did. He's got some great stories in this interview, and you'll love to hear it. But you got to check out the documentary. It's called More Than Me, and you can check that out on iTunes and probably a million other places. He's also been working on a new live act that combines comedy and like heavy metal. If you've ever seen his act, you'll know that he's a big fan of the 80s metal sounds, and he's even good friends with people like Metallica. It's a pretty insane combination, but he's a real professional, a lovely guy, a lovely father, and a great comedian. So here he is on the Patcast, my friend Jim Breuer.
What do you do when
ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Bottle Rock in Napa, and you can hear the Flaming Lips in the background, so you can listen to that if you're bored with this. But I have one of my favorite people on earth that I've ever heard interviewed and watched his comedy. A guy that I hope to be good friends with after this. A guy named Jim Breuer from New Jersey. You're from
Chester. Well, I grew up in Long Island.
Oh, Long Island.
I'm a Long Island guy, then migrated to New York City, and now we live in Chester, New Jersey.
Awesome. Bill, there's a bunch of things I want to go over. I know you have a limited amount of time.
No, I told them, like, what I have after you is, I said, listen, if we start bleeding into this, the rest of it's going to have to wait. Because my show's at 10. I got plenty of time.
I know. My wife and I, we're going to put our kids down so that we can come and see you at 10.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's the big go tonight. That's the big date. We haven't had a date for 5 years. So it's perfect. And I got something else I want to try to do with you in a little bit. But
all right.
So the reason I wanted to interview you more than anybody else I could think of is there are a very few, like a small handful of my favorite interviews ever. And as I said to you when you came in, I heard Howard Stern interview Stevie Wonder. And this is like 8 years ago, before you went satellite. And then after that, it was you, or it was Tom Arnold. Then it was you.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this guy is one of the coolest, sweetest, most interesting, funny guys. And Howard is very smart, and he doesn't love everybody, and you can always tell when he loves somebody. Like, he'll talk to you for an hour or more,
right? Just
because he's really interested, because he's so fussy about who he finds interesting,
right?
And so you are a very complex guy. But what makes you so complex to me is, like, you're punctual, you're kind, you're a great dad, you're a great son, you have all these qualities, and you're really great at your work, which is, what we all know you to be as a stand-up comic.
Ah, thanks.
But I mean, it has to do with the way you're raised. Why are you like that?
That's a good question. I keep trying to figure that out. I guess maybe some of it is out of, I guess, the word respect.
Yeah.
I had a lot of respect for my parents growing up, and we were also very family driven, and also in this industry, once I started becoming a comedian or trying to be an actor and stuff like that, I would hear the way people talk, or the one bozo would come in and he'd have an ego.
Right.
I'm like, why is this guy? I take everything as a privilege. As crazy as that sounds.
Me too. No, it's cool. I love it.
I'm still riding around here going, wow, this is really...
And you go like, man, I'm so lucky I got invited to this amazing place. Like, they could have asked another guy.
They could ask anybody. And I'm looking in the lineup like, well, do you see all the people on here? And I'm on here. So I think But
it has to do with, like, parents. Like, was it, like, when you watched your dad, what did your dad do for a living?
My dad was sanitation.
Okay. So you watched your dad just work his ass off.
Busted.
Bring some whatever he could bring home.
Right.
And you probably were like, man, that's a, you know what? I'm not going to mess with that guy because he's working too hard for me to, like, turn into a jackass. That'd be a shitty thing to do to my dad.
Yes. And also, well, here's he never ever would yell. That was number one. He was like a rock.
Yeah.
That would give you a look. And even the look wasn't menacing. The look was more of just disgust. If he, I
know that look.
I'd be a kid.
I give that look.
Yes, and that's what I do with my kids. I just look. I would turn in the doorway instead of homework. I would have my headphones on. I grew up. I loved hard rock.
Yeah, man. So I know all about it.
Yeah, so I would listen to, if it was Dokken or AC/DC, I would on my record I'd switch. All right, first I put on the first song, how I would imagine the concert would start.
Exactly.
And I'd give an entire concert.
Were you a musician? Because
no, I wanted to be really bad. Really bad.
I saw a psychic once, and she was like, "You're so lucky that you didn't choose to be a comic."
Did you want to become a comedian?
I always was like, man, I gotta want to just be funny all the time, but I can't do what you do. Like, I know comics, and you guys work real hard, man. And so,
I was just like, I just want to try to sing real quick. And I was like, okay, good. I gotta way out. But I had posters of Duckin' and all that shit all over my parents' room.
Into the fire!
I went and saw those guys.
Me too.
And who else did I see? My first concert was Aerosmith, and they had Cinderella open for them. You had to
Somebody save me! The Cinderella guy was a light version
that was a
of...
guy?
Right.
I'm just kidding.
To me, it was a light version of Brian Johnson, where Brian Johnson was like, somebody save me!
Man, that's
and he would just go, somebody save me! Almost preacherish.
Yeah,
you know?
that's why I always thought, why aren't you a singer? Because I could like do Zeppelin songs and Steven Tyler and all those stuff. And it's that you can too. Why wouldn't you have just done that?
Well, Mr. Monahan, little do people know, this year I'm venturing out.
Are you?
Yes. Now, why didn't I? You know, that's a good question.
This is a
I think it was
song
fear.
In the background for this story, actually.
Yes. I think it started as fear.
Huh.
Believe it or not, I had more confidence doing
make people
stand-up.
laugh.
Yes, because that was
nuts.
natural.
Man.
So if I was standing on the corner and I was ripping on the neighborhood or ripping on someone's brother or in school, rather than watching my friends who were in a band, and which is how I kind of started, they'd be like, come down and go up and introduce us and do 5 minutes. And I would just be like, this is going to be a great concert. and I wanted to so bad.
Hey, does your wife even laugh at you anymore?
She does laugh. Not a lot, but she still laughs.
Because I would laugh at you for probably 20 years and then be like, all right, I'm done with this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
She's a tough audience. This is why I got to keep changing.
That's great,
I got to keep changing. She makes
good
me
that
keep
she's
changing.
a fan, but she's like, come on, you're not going to do that, right?
Yeah, no. I still embarrass her. I still make her laugh.
That's awesome.
I still do little shtick things that keep her going.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you, but
No, it's all good.
So you go to your friends. It's easier to do that stuff. You don't get into music, but you are going to get into music.
Here's what I'm doing. Years ago, I had when I was a kid. I think it was 11th grade, where I would draw Jim Breuer in the form of Judas Priest, the way the letters of Judas Priest would be. And I said, I'm going to be...
I did all this shit. That's why it's so funny. I'm laughing because you're just a different version of what I did.
And I said, I'm going to be the first comedian to sell out like the Garden and Nassau Coliseum, where I'm opening for myself. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jim Breuer. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So my wife's crazy. And then 15 minutes later, what's up? And the laser lights, and I come out of the leather.
And so you're going to put like an acoustic record out later this year or something?
No, I would never.
Good.
I'm doing metal. I'm doing metal.
Man, I'm so glad you stuck
comedy,
with it.
though.
Oh, really?
I'm afraid to go... I don't have the writing... I still have that fear.
You have the right band together?
I do, I think. Why? Did you offering?
Did you write the songs?
I did.
Man, dude, you are like so in it. Did you already record the shit already?
I record the first one. We're doing 3 practice shows when we go home. Tuesday night in Jersey is our first... we call it Tuesday night.
Pergo's from Jersey, so he's like going to be like
Dingbats, a little place called Dingbats, which is a metal club.
He doesn't know that. He doesn't do metal. He's too cool for that.
But what I want to do is, it's metal music, metal stories, and metal comedy. So
amazing, man.
You're gonna love it.
The band is on the stage.
Yes.
You do like a bit about something, then they'll start playing a song. And and that's
kind of
when
score
I did this.
Yes, they'll score the story. But also, what I've done was picture AC/DC, right? The AC/DC is all hooks.
Yep, song. At a train coming.
I'm on the high, whatever it is, it's a hook.
Yep, massive.
Now, once the hook is over, instead of singing the lyrics, I'm telling the stand-up.
Oh, sweet.
And so when the laugh comes, then comes the hook. I think you're going to love it.
And you did this? You already worked it all
I did
out?
it I did over
When you say you did one, you mean like a whole, like you did a whole
did a bunch
set?
of shows. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I did it this year, and I did it at the Metallica Orion Fest.
Really?
And
Did it kill?
crushed. That's the first time I went, okay, I'm leaving.
Metallica are buddies of yours, right? They're Bay Area
I know
guys.
them. I know them very well. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I know them very well.
Guys like that just don't hang out with me.
You'd be surprised. Maybe you didn't try.
I didn't try.
You'd be a James guy.
Really?
Yeah, James would definitely.
He seems like he's got some comedy in there.
He's very funny.
Is he?
He's very
Yeah,
funny.
he seems like he's got some good gags.
He's very
Speaking
funny.
of good gags,
Yeah.
I want to go back just to. There's so much I want to ask you about, and I want to start with the party in your stomach. Like,
Yeah.
Did you write that bit all by yourself? And how much of your comedy do you write now by yourself? Because as a writer and a songwriter, like, things have changed over time.
Right.
And I'm happy to admit it and, tell people who does the writing and how it gets done, because it's interesting to me more than it's, like, embarrassing.
Yeah.
But, like, you probably write a ton of it, but then you have to do it and rewrite whatever somebody is trying to help you with. Like, how many writers do you have?
I have no writers.
Wow, dude. Yeah, you're a badass.
But this is the first time in my life where I like, with the music and the comedy and the music, I know specifically what I'm going for.
Right. You need some help, some direction.
I think I need some help. Not so much with the music, with the writing formula of it, with certain songs and stuff. But
so this thing that you're doing currently,
yeah,
who are you going to have help you do that part of it?
I'm not sure yet. I don't know yet.
Why wouldn't you ask the Metallica guys? Are they not hook-driven enough? They're not really hooky.
No, they are. I wouldn't.
Maybe they're more riffy.
They're more riffy, and you know what? I consider myself friends, like friends.
So back off the
I would
working together thing?
Yeah, like I would never. I couldn't put myself in a position where I would be like, "Hey, man, can you help me write this?" Or can you help me?
I can help you, because if we lose what we've got, it's really only a day old. It's fine.
I'd love to, and I would, because this is what I do. I come up with premises.
Yeah.
Like, I already know 2 or 3 songs.
Sure.
All right. They're very easy, but they're also long. The stand-up, they're songs that nobody's doing. I'm hitting a specific target. I'm hitting the same audience that my stand-up.
Do you have more guys or girls at your shows? Is it a mix?
It's a pretty heavy mix.
And girls like to rock.
Girls love
crazy, right?
to rock. So what
you think, the guys like to rock. It's no. The girls.
The girls like to let it out.
Yeah.
And if you bring a good rock to them, they love it.
Yeah.
There's nothing sexier to me than when I see a woman shaking her head, smashing her head.
You were waving something around. What were you? You were just doing
that's my imaginary head, and she's got long blonde hair, and she's swirling it around.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you meant like it was like she was swirling her head, but she had like a baby in her hands
by her feet.
Yeah, or
she's swirling it around.
Underpants.
Yeah, I don't want to go there. This is what I'm going for.
Okay,
ready? Our age.
Yep.
Who want to go to a metal concert, hard rock metal concert. Because back in the day when I would go, I still say those were the greatest shows.
Yeah.
I'd go see Dio, and he'd have a dragon coming out. We're off to the witch. We might now. And I just stand there going, look at the laser lights. Judas Priest would come out.
It's almost like too much now, right? Everybody has access to everything, and you just go like, eh.
Yeah, but no one's doing that.
Yeah.
Or they're dropping F-bombs, and they're doing, and there's strippers on the side.
That's a bummer, right?
It's a bummer. I wanted to bring my kids to AC/DC. I really want them to see an AC/DC concert. But in the beginning of their new Black Eyes tour, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because they start off with the whole microphone and
right, super sexy,
licking the microphone of it. Oh, thank God I bring my 11-year-old daughter.
If you can't come to the Jones Beach show this summer or the PNC, definitely send your family, because we're totally like, that's the best thing that that I like about my band.
Me too.
Because it's like families come, and I don't swear at all. I curse during this stuff because...
Me too.
I don't... Like, why not?
This is more life and hanging out and the other side of you.
The other part is entertaining, and my job is to make sure that your little girl and her mom are both comfortable.
And that's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
I've
noticed that, and I was going to ask you, it doesn't seem like you ever go blue. I've
Never.
heard you say fuck once, but you were referring
on
to
Howard?
Something your father said.
Oh, in the film?
In the movie, yeah.
Yes.
We'll talk about the movie in a second, too. But actually, let's talk about it now. It's called More Than Me.
Right.
And it came out in 2009?
It came out, technically, I think a year and a half ago. About a year ago.
Well, when I watched it, it was incredibly moving because, first of all, taking an 84-year-old man on buses around in the winter, right?
In
because
Michigan.
When I met you, it was the year that we did a VH1 thing. You were the MC at a VH1 event, and it was it in Detroit?
It was in Detroit, and Nickelback was there, and
right.
and you were there.
And I took my dad to that Super Bowl a few days later, and he had open heart surgery years before, and so they take an artery from your leg,
right?
And the winter, and my father, he just passed away. He was 85. Your father is how old now?
90 in August.
Oh man!
Yeah, genes, good genes,
incredible.
And your dad too.
But so that generation, he duked it out because he wanted to see the Steelers play, but he was miserable. He had the worst time. And your dad, he was pretty bummed out at sometimes. My favorite part of the entire movie was when you kept pulling him in backwards in the days in and letting him go. And it was insane. Where you were having the time of your life, and I know the camera guy was just like, "This is so funny," and your dad's like, "God damn it, you son of a..." Right?
That was to me. That goes back to all Lauren Hardy. To me, that was just a Lauren Hardy act. Yeah. And I literally told the camera guys to go down the end of the driveway and make sure you get a long shot of this. This is going to be hilarious. Yeah. And I wish they had a little bit of audio that was a little better.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have him. We were just winging it. Yeah. We were just winging it. But yeah, he was like, your sisters, your son, your mother, your guy, your pig, your this, your bite, your monkey's ass.
Yeah. It's super funny listening to him say, when you asked him what year he wanted to go back, what year would you, how old did you want to be if you could live it out for the rest of the year? It depends on what year I was getting the most hump. Who says that shit?
Nobody says that.
An 85-year-old guy.
When did I get hump?
And then what did he say? 6?
Yeah, he goes 6. I'm like, come on.
And he just is really funny. Just like my dad didn't want to hug anybody. His last day, he would hug you as distant as possible and give you a pat on the back,
Right.
And, man, Pergo is with me all the time. I went and saw my dad after he had this attack. He was in the hospital and he was really sick. All my siblings are in the room and everything. And this is how, he's still really funny and entertaining to the end. So I walk in and I'm like, Dad, man, how are you? And he goes, where's Pergo? What the fuck? Who gives a shit?
Right.
And so it was just all to break my balls.
Well, that's funny you say that because our dad, my dad, the paramedics have been over 1 million times.
He's in Florida still?
No, he lives with me.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I moved him into our house.
You are
My wife's a saint.
Jesus.
So we have we have 3 kids.
You guys are the toughest people I know. What you're doing is incredible for him.
Well, I also believe
so challenging for your family.
I also believe in living by example. I love that I'm a little bit in the public eye, and then when people discover that stuff, I truly think it helps them a little bit. Go, well, if he's
right,
wow, if he's doing that,
he can be polite.
Yeah.
And if he can take care of his dad, I could get it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I got that in me. I mean, I have...
It's hard.
You have great manners. I hope that people say that about me, and a lot of the other things that I admire about you, I hope people say about me. But taking care of both my parents died before I was able to do that.
Yeah.
But had they not, that's
tough.
a serious thing that you're doing.
And you don't realize it till he drops a big dump out in public. That is when you're really tested.
Don't you just walk away from them at that point?
Oh, let me
You're
tell you something.
I don't know that dude.
Let me tell you something. I could write a book on the 10 top cities my father has crapped himself. Let's see, there was
It'd
Cincinnati.
be better if you didn't.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Man.
To be sitting there in public.
That sounds terrible.
And you just see he looks at you and he goes, I gotta go. And you know.
And you're like, you mean you had to go.
Yeah, if I'm not carrying a bucket, it's over. Because he ain't walking anywhere. He can't walk fast.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say before was, he's always trying to be funny. Paramedics come over. The last time they came over was a couple months ago. He was out in a coma in the bathroom. And
that's terrible.
right. And
does this break your heart? I mean,
I'm used to it.
Oh my God.
I'm used to it. His eyes are, twitching, and he's cut. And I'm holding his head.
Is this part of your act these days?
Well, he is, but not this story I'm going to tell you, although it should be.
Okay.
All right? Now, the nurse that helps us said, "Oh my God, he's having stroke. He's
Wait, okay. So what nationality is she? Because
I lump them all together. She's
so she's like Polish, but she's from
Peruvian.
Mexico. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
She's Peruvian. So she goes, Mr. James, call him paramedic. He's a stroke. So I go down. Now when he craps, the entire floor where he's at is it's raw.
I don't know how that. What do you feed him? Why do you feed him like goat?
I think it's his tubes. They're just rotted out and they smell like sewer.
They just had their
raw.
They just had their better days.
Horrible buzzards are out the window, just hanging out in the driveway.
And they're like, no.
Yeah, we're out. We're out. We're sorry. We thought it was a dead animal. Sorry. Our apologies. And he's in the bathroom, and I go down and I'm holding his head. And
because
usually
he's having like convulsions.
I think he's dying.
Oh,
I'm pretty convinced he's dying. So and plus the smell, he definitely craps.
smells.
So usually old people when they die,
Sure, of course.
they die on the toilet. A lot of them die on the toilet.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's a fact. They die. A lot of old people die on the toilets. It's the last little, and the heart gives out. They're over.
Crazy.
Or they just die right there, and then all your body parts release.
Sure.
So I'm pretty convinced he's a goner. I'm grabbing his head. I said, Dad, your brothers are waiting for you. They can't wait to see. Everything's fine here. I got everything. You were such a great dad. Blah, blah. Paramedics come. Don't let us in. Blah, 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 blah. I'm a little emotional. Paramedics start laughing. Just start laughing.
Oh, no.
And I'm starting to get pissed.
Yeah.
I'm 5 feet away. I'm starting to get pissed.
Yeah, because you're having like your goodbye moment.
Yeah. Now another one comes in. They're all coming in, and I hear them laughing. Some more.
Geez.
And I go in there. I go, what's going on? What's going on? And they go, well, he had a stroke, but it ain't the kind that's needs blood work. It's the kind you need a cigarette and a nap.
Oh my God.
They go, we gotta take him in because he's really his blood sugar's way down. And as they're wheeling him out of the house, they're going, Mr. Breuer, you have any pain? And he goes, no, but I'm pregnant. I go, you're pregnant? He goes, I can't tell you who the father is. You'll spread rumors. And that's all I hear is they're whisking him into the freaking ambulance. And then I have to go in the emergency room. And they're like, what is he here for? Like,
I'm going to lose my voice talking to you.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Go ask the paramedics.
Man.
It's a sense of humor.
And you don't add that to your bit.
I'll add it on the thing. If there's kids, because it's a whack.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's a whacking off thing.
Sure. I don't think there's many kids here, man.
There isn't. Maybe I'll do that tonight.
Yeah,
but I'm definitely going to talk about him tonight.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to talk about him tonight.
It's a super inspiring time. Actually, hey, Jerry, you think I wanted Jerry to help us do something.
Yeah.
Because I always ask, everybody, like I always want whoever is on to sing something with me.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I know that you can sing sing circles around me.
So
I figured I'm gonna let Jerry get going here.
Is
and
this
then I'll
something I
hand you this
know?
too. I think so.
You're not gonna embarrass me,
I
right?
think you're gonna know.
What if I don't know the lyrics and all
man?
that?
It's gonna be cool. I figured we could you're gonna know.
Is it Dawkins Dream Warriors?
Dude, had I known that you were a Dawkins fan, I would have totally gotten Dawkins on you. See, Jerry, were you a big metalhead in Cleveland? He's from Cleveland originally.
Okay.
Here, you can talk into this.
Kind of more butt rock, more Warrant than metal.
Yeah, but that's what we're just.
You just broke my heart, Jerry.
See, because that's where you stopped.
No, you liked Warren. Yeah, no. He just broke my heart, though. No, I liked Warren. I liked him.
No, but he didn't. He liked them. He liked the metal, and then Warrant was like the beginning.
They came in, they destroyed us all.
It got terrible.
But they were good. They had a couple good ones. They brought the women. They brought the women.
There was and they were all really classy ladies.
Yeah, Dio wasn't bringing in any.
No.
Where's all my hot women tonight? Yeah.
There were 4 guys in
They're the last in. They're the last in. All right.
Does that thing work?
What's that thing? Oh, it's like really light. What else can we do for it? Okay. Yeah, then we'll sing into this. There you go. Oh, wow. Oh, all right. Can you turn it up anymore? Okay. Never cared. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I'm singing the chorus. You got the... Never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live in our own way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. To this, just in seek, finding you. Different view, and nothing else matters. I was enjoying the song. Never care for what they say. Oh wait, sorry, yeah. And I know. Man, let's say that chorus one more time, because I got the wrong words and. You're, okay, let's just do the chorus one time. Yeah. Should we just do the all over again? No. Just this one chorus, man, because it's so... I'll take the low one, because you do high so well. Ready? No, we're going to do this one, because I messed it up. Never cared for what they do. Never care for what they know, and I know. Yeah, Man, Metallica, Bay Area guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know those guys as well as you do, and you didn't even know that.
Great guys. No, I didn't know that.
But I know the song really well, but I know it like from years ago, and I was like, man, since you're so good friends with them, let's ruin one of their jams.
Let's ruin one.
It to them.
So close, no matter how far. See, now I could do it. Couldn't be my forever, just you, yeah.
So now I'm gonna let you disappear and go do all your work.
What a bummer! I could have stayed here for 3 hours.
I wanted to just finish up with a couple things.
Yeah.
I got a list of questions that my wife always asks me to ask.
I love it.
But first, I want to know what's next. I got you're gonna do the metal show.
This is what's next. I'm really excited about. Next week, I'm meeting with a rock producer.
Awesome.
To help me put this together.
Great, man.
It's going to be rock, metal, comedy.
I've never heard of it before. It sounds awesome. I can't wait to see it.
It's music. I'm going to make videos for it that are really funny. I'll reach out to you. You want to be? They're very funny. And they're very family driven
with you.
Very family driven. And I'm telling you, I'll throw you the ideas of like 2 of the things I'm working on, and if you're gonna love. It's so easy.
See, I mean, we grew up doing,
it's so easy.
Listening to the same, and you know, I grew up in Pennsylvania, which is not much different than New Jersey. We're
not
the
at
same
all.
People, really.
Not at all.
And there were 3 things that we did. We got people pregnant. we drank beer, and then I don't even know what the third one was. We just threw up in people's cars.
Hang out. That's all we do. Hang out.
Do you remember the first Cheech and Chong record?
Yes.
I went down to the drugstore to try to find a job.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yes.
Man.
I was a little kid.
Man,
I was really little.
It meant everything to me, that record.
And then I went from that to the George Carlin, I think, Class Clown.
Class Clown.
And he because that's another thing. I do have like this faith world that's in me too, with morals and just explores far and wide. And he said something that kind of blew my mind.
Did you meet George Carlin?
No.
Man,
I wanted to so bad.
Favorites of ever.
So bad I wanted to.
So smart.
And he goes, you know, everything God made dies. I went, so he's really not that perfect now, is he? And I just remember being a little kid, whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, you should never listen to George Carlin if you're a kid.
Yeah.
Ever. You need to be in your late 30s before you get started on Carlin.
Yes.
Where you're like, okay, I can handle this.
Yes.
He got so
brilliant.
Dark.
He got very dark at the end.
True.
Especially at the end.
Man, I love that. I know, but like I said, my dad went and saw him, and he was on a date. And my dad only cursed in front of guys.
Yeah, me too.
If somebody dropped an F-bomb in front of a woman, he would go, ugh.
Yeah, I agree.
He would show you his disgust on his face.
Right.
Is your dad like that? Are you like that?
I'm like that.
You are.
I'm like that. I don't think, if a woman bothered my father, he would shock value the room and test her. And it was.
Give me one example of what that would be? Can you break out of your?
He would. I'll tell you right now.
All right.
He would do things. I'll never forget this. I'm with Paula Abdul. Okay, it's Saturday Night Live after party. I will never forget this. Now he does this in front of.
I loved your Sylvester Stallone story about your dad.
Yes,
and that shit was true.
Of course.
Like how much true? Like a lot.
The Elks was all the Elks. He didn't invite him. No. He said I'd like to bring you to Planet Hollywood.
Did he tell him
and he said $10 a beer. And he makes a jerk off saying it's $10 a beer. Fuck out of here. You're gonna be broke in a year. I'll bring you to the Elks Club. They got better burgers.
Wow.
Sting? It would Sting. He goes, I go, Dad, this is Sting. He goes, what? He goes, I'm Sting. He goes, you're what? I ain't got time for this idiot. I ain't got time for this idiot. Like, Dad, did you?
That's like my dad would have been like that too. My dad would have been nice to him or whatever, but then he would have. This was my dad's great joke. He would. Like a guy would come to a table. If he and I were eating I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania. We'd be eating breakfast.
All right.
Guy would come over. Jack, hey, Jim Carson. Hey, Jim. Oh man, great to see you. And they would talk for 10 minutes, like unusually long, strange, Yeah. And then he'd be like, man, great to see you. Tell Helen I said hi. Okay, great to see you, Jack. Okay, so long. Once he walked away, fucking asshole.
That's my dad. My dad would do this. My dad would go, this is what he'd do in the room. He'd go, all right, what is your name? He'd ask you your name. You said, what is your name?
I'm Pat.
Pat, everyone, let's give a nice hymn to Pat. Fuck him. Go get a job, Pat. And they would just, that would be it. He'd be like, Dad, you can't say that stuff. He's like, yeah, I got it. Or he'd do this. This was bad. He would do this with women.
I'm going to die listening to your story.
This is here. I was wheeling my father around in the neighborhood. It's an elderly. It's like 55 and over development. This is about 4 years right before I brought him on tour.
Yeah.
All right. Now, it's a very uppity neighborhood.
Yeah.
We watch Fox News and we
Sure.
It's very uppity.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bill.
That's a good.
So now I'm wheeling him around. 2 women come up in the neighborhood. They're like, oh, wow, that's so nice. You're wheeling your father around. That's so nice. It's just, I'm a nurse and it's so pleasant. Right. I'm already doing this and I'm trying to avoid them with the wheelchair.
You know what's coming.
And he's got big fat fingers.
Oh.
Right. And they go, ooh, Mr. Breuer, his fingers are very swollen, and they're all bent because he used to be he would fight a lot. So they go, "Is his fingers all right?" I go, "Yeah, Dad. Your fingers are a little colored. Are they all right?" And they go, "Did you hurt your fingers?" He goes, "Yeah." And they went, "What happened?" He goes, "I was playing with my weenie." And then he leaves his eyes wide open, staring at them like balls in your court. And they literally just turned and went, well, it was nice talking to you. And they're gone.
Forever.
Like, why do you do that? He goes, I don't give a shit. Here's the other one he does, which always made me laugh. But it's so rude. So rude. A woman will, if he doesn't like the woman up, he's like, today we went over here and
totally.
He'll go, is this a long story? And then as they continue, he'll go, is that it? Are we done?
Oh my God.
Okay.
So, did your dad think women were funny?
No.
My dad struggled, but man, there are some funny women out there.
Very funny women. Very, very funny women.
To my father, it was like,
yeah, no.
it's so funny, man. Like,
He wasn't into funny women. Yeah, it's changed.
That generation, those 2 guys, really reminded me a lot of each other because my father was a real young guy in World War II.
Right.
He was super young. He
was a teenager.
He was part of the Air Force for, a couple of years during when everything was cleaned up and, but
Right.
your father was in the thick of some stuff.
Right.
And you said his plane came back because somebody wanted to put some hours on his plane.
Yes.
And his plane didn't come back.
Holy shit. There was I don't know.
And he was a gunner
Yes.
on the plane.
Yes.
So he wasn't even flying it. He was like sitting underneath
Yes.
the fucking gun.
Right, just hoping. I hope this asshole knows what he's doing up there. Oh. Jesus Christ, I mean, I couldn't imagine. I will say this.
Have you ever read the Tom Brokaw book, The Greatest Generation?
No.
You really should. I read it a long time ago when he just wrote it. It's fascinating because his dad was a World War II veteran.
Oh, wow.
And it's about our father's generation. And it really will help you, you already respect the crap out of your dad, but
Right.
this is really going to make you feel like, man, what a romantic era. We're so blessed to have had these guys be part of our lives.
Beyond blessed. And what I do now is I always pay for, if I go to out on the road, I go to a restaurant, I hit an IHOP or a Denny's or something, I always look for the guy who wears the hat. It'll say Korean vet.
Yeah. Yep.
Vietnam
Sure.
vet, World War II vet.
And they're always at IHOP. There's several of them.
There's always an IHOP.
There's a guy there right now waiting for you to find him.
Right. And it means that they're wearing that hat because they don't feel recognized and they're very proud and they want you to go up to them and go, thank you. And they love it. The new guys aren't ready for that.
Right. No,
New guys are
they
like,
don't want that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they don't know if you're going to blow up in front of them. They don't know what's going on.
Right. Those guys,
they're still traumatized.
These kids, man, I met some kids leaving for boot camp. There was one
Kids.
kid. He was like 20, probably, maybe younger.
Oh.
Going to Japan for 2 years. He's going to be there. But here are the questions, and then because you got a show. These are my wife's questions.
I love it.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Quick ones. What are you afraid of?
Oh, wow. What am I afraid of?
These are easy. They're all easy like this.
Well, all right. What am I afraid of? Heights.
Heights. Okay, good. What are you best at?
Being myself.
man, you're an awesome dad. Like, I love your stories about your kids. You play with your kids and everything. And, you probably don't get home as much as you think that it would take to be the right kind of dad, but I think you're doing great.
Thank you.
What's left for you? Like, what's left to do that
It's too much.
Yeah?
It's too much.
So you're just kind of beginning. That's how I feel. Like,
I'm just beginning.
Great. That's
Because
awesome.
the maturity level just really hit, and I'm ready to. I'm now in teacher mode.
do you feel like you just kind of maybe got confident for the first time?
Yes.
Because that's where I'm at.
I'm confident I could do anything now.
Cool. Yeah, that's a similar thing for me. How are you going to do this anything and everything? Like, what's obviously you just worked. Okay, that's a question.
Well, I got to organize it because there's so many of them.
And you're terrible at that. I've seen you try to do that. What's your most memorable personal moment?
Memorable personal. There's
There's a number of them. You just choose.
There's
one.
a lot.
Yeah.
Most of them are.
Were you drunk for any of them?
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Oh man, I could do a 5-episode 1 hour series of wasted horrid nights where I woke up going, what happened?
Man, I love.
Why are my lips black?
I love your party in the stomach, man. You're, and then tequila shows up. Hey, man, we aren't going to do anything strange, man.
We just left the worm in the van. We came into a good time. Listen, I want to come inside and look for my amigo. He got the keys on the truck. I can't get in the truck unless I can eat. I just want you. Wow.
You still do that bit?
I don't, only if they, this is what I do. I do like my hour.
Somebody will yell up.
And then some will yell. I said, what do you want to see? Go boy, party in the stomach, do an impression.
All your impressions are
I don't know.
incredible.
Personal moments, there's a lot. Because a lot of them were with my kids.
You have too many of them. It's a tough one. But like sometimes you go like, man, that one thing was just nuts that happened 3 weeks ago or whatever. Like if it's fresh in your mind. If not, then let's move on.
Yeah.
Well, you have a most a memorable professional moment.
Oh my gosh, there's been a bunch. Professional. When Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro came out, and when Pesci sat me down to talk to me about the sketch we're gonna do together, he said, "This is all I remember." He's going, "So, all these people tell me you're doing me, and this is what I'll never forget. A huge De Niro fan." Is Pesci goes, so Bobby comes in, he goes, you guys see this tape? And all I can think of is like, you and De Niro? And he goes, yeah, me, Bobby, and Scorsese. The three of you are sitting down.
Watching me? Be you?
Right. And he's going, and Bobby's sitting there going, look, he's just like you. He's just like you. And he goes, personally, I don't think you sound like me. I think you sound like Mickey Mouse.
Oh man, that's an incredible. I don't have anything that perfectly awesome.
and there's been a lot. There's been I got to host this Metallica 30th anniversary show. Oh, that was.
But I mean, you get to meet some cool people over at Sirius.
I get to meet some cool people.
And you get to sing with cool people.
Brian Johnson.
That's amazing.
Having
man.
dinner with Brian Johnson.
You had dinner with that guy?
Oh, dude, he's the
when I met
funniest.
I met him, I think, in Italy. And it was random. Like, they were doing some photo thing, and it was years ago. And they're the loveliest, shortest, and loveliest human beings alive.
Great.
They're all like, they get the joke.
Yes.
It's like, what do we have to be mad about? Why would we have a 30-person entourage? It all just doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
We're just going to be really awesome and blind you with our awesomeness on stage tonight.
What a show.
And in between, I'm going to have like 300 cigarettes and drink some whiskey. Like, it's like...
we're gonna, my wife and I had dinner with him, and he calls up, he's like, Jimmy, son, I'm in New York City, and why don't you invite the lassie, and we'll have a nice lassie little group fiction. And so I laughed so hard because my wife doesn't drink.
Yeah.
And we sit down. He's like, hello, 4 glasses, a bottle of wine. I had 4 glasses. And she goes, that's okay, I don't drink. And he goes, great, because me and Jim we're going to have a good time tonight. And
Great.
he told stories for 2 hours, and I just sat there like the little nephew kid going, please, Uncle Brian, tell me more.
Man, that's awesome.
He told me, here's a funny story.
Did he tell you about the beginning and how he got the gig? Because you know why it happened? It was because the original Bon Scott
he died.
was a fan of Brian's band.
Oh, you're kidding?
And he liked this band.
Really?
And so he used to go see Brian Johnson's band.
Really?
And so when Bon Scott died, I don't think his band was shit. I think it was just a little act that I think it kind of disappeared even. And then those guys were like, hey man, Bon Scott loved you.
Wow.
Why don't you be our guy? I mean, I would rather you ask him because you know him, but that's what I heard was the deal. And that makes you go like, that makes him even cooler.
He is cool.
Because he was like loved into the group.
And he's so humble, and he's such a great man.
He gets the joke.
Here's the funny, he tells me a story, this made me laugh so hard. He's like, your father, Jim, just like me, the World War II was a different generation. And he starts getting this deep conversation. You know, we're having red wine, and I'm sitting there listening, I'm fascinated. And he goes, you know, the world don't realize, but Germany, I mean, you're talking about this little country, and they marched into Britain, and they marched into France, and they were about to beat us. They were taking over the world. It's pretty powerful for a little country, and they were far advanced, and even to this day, they're technically far advanced, and everyone realizes. But the most amazing thing about them is they don't have a word for nipple. Isn't that crazy? That makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, try to say nipple in German, you can't do it. I tried a many times, I just ain't got a word for nipple. It fascinates me. And he lured me into this history and all this, and he ends it with a bang, a funny joke. He's so funny. So funny.
Well, I think these guys want you to go do 100 other, right? You guys are sweating it? Yeah, they're trying to get you.
Is this on the speakers, what we're doing now? No, right?
I think they want you to go up there.
No, but no one can hear this, right?
Nobody can hear this.
This is going to be the most boring, painful.
I know, man.
Painful.
I know.
Here's going to be the questions, right?
Jim, why'd you select coming to the Bottle Rock Fest?
Well, my agent called, and they said, would you like to do it? I went, yeah. I had no clue this even existed. Okay, but I won't say that. I'll say, dude, I love red wine. Napa's been in my heart for years. I mean, what do you think?
It's so funny, right?
Right.
But, you know, man, it's like, that's why you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do your thing.
Dude, anytime you want me to do this again, we'll spend hours
I would
doing
love
this.
it. You know,
I'm sorry,
you're one of my favorite people, man.
Wow, thank you
this
so
song wasn't supposed to be genius. It was supposed to be fun. And
I wanted to do it.
Really fun.
It was.
We'll do it another time. It's serious.
I gotta get your contact.
Come in. We'll have
I'm done with serious.
Oh, really?
You gotta bring me up there now. I got 2 more shows left. We're done.
You have 2 more shows.
I'm done in May.
Good. I'm happy that you are.
I am too. I'm ready to venture out.
You know, it's like I feel like a guy with as much talent as you can't have a radio show to go to.
Drives me nuts.
You can't do it.
Drives me nuts.
You could go make so much more money by if you want to. I
want to be out. I want to be out. I want to venture out. So I had to.
Well, I'm super happy, man. Thank you so much
bless
for
you,
doing
brother.
this interview.
Thanks for having
one of my
me.
Favorite people around.
I want to see you in Jones Beach.
Give you all my stuff. Come and see me.
Will do.
Or anytime you want. And please bring your kids. They can be mermaids this summer. But if you get a bunch of hassle, like some ladies in the front row going, why are they mermaids and I'm not a fucking mermaid? You just tell them that you can't understand English.
I'll just go,
yeah.
Oh, he's from Germany.
Just say Scheisse. 30 times.
That's it. All right, man. Thank you, brother.
Jim Breuer.
So that was it. That was Jim Breuer. And you can check out his documentary, as I said, More Than Me. Check out his website, Official Jim Breuer. That's Breuer as Brewer. OfficialJimBreuer.com. He has some stand-up dates listed on that website, and he may be coming to a city near you, as well as the Sail Across the Sun cruise with us, Train. You can see Jim, as well as Matt Nathanson, Brett Denon, John Oates, Secret Sisters, lots of other things that, man, this cruise is going to be nutty. I hope that you're all going to come. Check out Patcast on iTunes, patcast.com, and hit us up at the @ symbol. Patcast Podcast on Twitter. Let us know what you think, but only if it's positive. If you have anything mean to say, please go to jimmystafford.com. That's probably a better thing for my fragile ego. And if you have any complaints, please, send them to @Pergonomics on Twitter or DJ Soft Rock, which is Jerry Becker, because I don't want to hear it. All right, there you go. Thanks a lot for listening. Patcast. I'm Pat. I'm doing the podcast. Bye.